Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time we viewed a few conversations between Spot Pass characters, and this time, well, this is it. There's only one thing to do. Let's take down Grima once and for all. Though there's one thing that I want to take care of first. Remember how I said that I wanted to make sure I at least maxed out every family support by the end of the game? There are two more that I haven't actually done yet. Laurent and Libra A, which I have grinded for, and Jerome and Virion A, which for some reason still hasn't gone up. Again, I'm convinced that Jerome actually has an intentionally low support growth with his parents. It would make a lot of sense with his personality. I also managed to get another support between Noe and Tharia, and I just want to do this now because I might want to see if I can potentially get their A while I'm grinding for Jerome and Virion. Because this is a very good support line. You see a really different side of Tharia here, so let's start with this one.
So hey. Yeah? Really? Pretty much. Yes! Ha-ha! Huh? Listen. Pretty much. Yeah?
I think the implications of that are pretty obvious. And that's why I want to get the A support, because that's where the truth finally comes out. Now I'll just do a few more skirmishes to grind out these last remaining supports. Thanks to getting incredibly lucky with event tiles in a Reeking Box skirmish, I actually do have Tharia and Noe up to an A, so we may as well give this support some closure.
What? Yeah. Yeah? Huh? Pretty much. Well? Okay.
That support! Seriously, you'd almost think Tharia was a totally different character after seeing that support. That is just amazing. When I first read those, I was like, okay, wait a minute, this is Tharia, right? This is the same person. So, yeah, that is probably the best showing of her hidden good side out of all of her supports, really. Which is why I'm glad I got to show that off before we finish the game. And yes, Noe is well aware that her parents are most likely dead. But we have two more parent-child supports to do. The last two that we need. So firstly, Laurent and Libra. Oh, we've got this music again, so it's angst time.
Indeed.
Yes.
What? That seems very weird coming from Libra, though.
No. I'm a man. God save you.
I feel like some parts of that support make more sense with other fathers, but that's still a pretty good support. Now, finally Jerome and his father, A.
Greetings.
And hey, it's not that music this time.
What?
Because he's your father?
No, Huh?
I just thought to myself that Virion probably spent most of his life trying to avoid becoming a father, and then this happened. Yeah, Minerva's not going to attack Virion unless he flirts with other women in front of Church. But he's not going to do that, trust me. That line makes so much sense with Virion, really it does. It actually echoes, I did look at some of the Fire Emblem Awakening comic from just recently, and there's a bit in there where, yeah, Church is talking to Minerva and is, yeah, telling... I'm, yeah, not able to talk at the moment. Basically, she says that she's surprised that he trusts a buffoon like him, but yeah, Minerva does.
Do tell.
Yeah, now this bit's interesting because this always happens regardless of who Virion's father is, and yet some of... Well, Virion's father, okay, really, I'm going really weird today. Regardless of who Jerome's father is, and yet some fathers for Jerome actually could understand Minerva in their supports with Church, and they suddenly can't now. So that's a problem with generic parent-child supports in this game. You sometimes do get plot holes like that with certain fathers. Thankfully, there's no plot hole in the case of Virion, but with, I'm pretty sure it's Gregor who has the plot hole. But yeah, and they didn't edit that support to accommodate for any of those fathers who can understand Minerva, so that's a bit annoying.
No.
Oh hey, actually I hadn't called him that before.
Huh?
And suddenly he's all like, I'm angsty, I have no affectionate side, what are you talking about?
Hold.
That's not a bad support though. But with that, we've got every support we can do done. And that means there's only one place left to go, but we have one more thing we need to do first. Actually, two more things. Firstly, if we're going to fight Grima, we may as well arm ourselves as best as possible. And in fact, if we're fighting a dark dragon that's worshipped as a deity by an evil cult, why not bring over some weapons that were wielded against another dark dragon who was worshipped as a deity by an evil cult? I'm talking, of course, about some of the bonus items that you can download. Now, these, much like the Spot Pass Paralogs, were made available. I think a new one will be released every week after the game came out. And, of course, at this point, all of them should be available. These are all various legendary weapons from earlier games in the series, so it's the final chapter, so why don't we, take these now. Firstly, we have Teofing, the legendary sword of the Crusader I think Boulder is the correct way to write that, from Fire Emblem 4, the legendary weapon wielded by Sigurd and his son Salif, so that's actually kind of fitting, considering Crom is similar to Sigurd in some respects. Now, the Lunar Lance is actually derived from Fire Emblem Gaiden. That was the first time the Sol, Lunar, and Astra weapons ever... Sol, Lunar, and Astra names ever appeared. They were weapons, not skills back then, though. But they had a actually, no, they didn't have the same effect, because I think Lunar just made it so that all your attacks hit. Anyway, the Lunar Lance is, unlike the others, only a B-ranked weapon. It gives you a built-in Lunar skill, basically. The Vengeance Axe has a built-in Vengeance skill, and is completely original to this game. The Astra Bow is another reference to Gaiden, though Astra was a lance back then. Again, a bow with a built-in Astra stat. Mjolnir is the legendary Thunder Tome wielded by the Crusader Tordo back in Fire Emblem 4. Back then it was usually called Thor Hammer, but they've given it its proper Norse name of Mjolnir here. And we also have the Misteltein, the real one this time. The legendary weapon wielded by the Crusader Hazel, the Black Knight, from, again, Fire Emblem 4. And, fittingly for the weapon that it's based off, it has a higher critical rate. Gaybolg is the legendary lance wielded by the Crusader Noba from Fire Emblem 4, later used by Quan and his daughter. Armads is from Fire Emblem 7, the legendary weapon used by Hector. Needhogg is from Sacred Stones. It was one of the Sacred Twin weapons. Forseti is one of my favourite tomes in the Fire Emblem series, and sadly it's been nerfed to only give speed plus 5, rather than speed plus 20 like it used to. Yeah, this made anybody an invincible dodge tank back in Fire Emblem 4. It's a legendary weapon of the Crusader, well, Seti, from Fire Emblem 4. Let's just hope that this weapon doesn't have the same effect it did back then. Back in Fire Emblem 4, using this spell would slowly erode the wielder's soul until they eventually became the Crusader Seti, but let's just hope it doesn't do that here. The double bow is a weapon from Tellius, Ike's games. It has longbow range and is thus archers and snipers only. And the Book of Naga is from Fire Emblem 4, the legendary weapon of course, Naga herself, wielded by the Crusader Saint Haim and eventually Julia. You might note that the Book of Naga is effective against dragons. It's, only one of these weapons that has an additional effect. You want to watch out for that. In DLC, you'll sometimes fight enemies that use that. Anyway, though, one more thing we need to do. Mary Sue has reached level 15 off camera, and thus has learned everything she can out of the Dark Knight class. So, it's time. Fittingly for the final chapter, I'm going to reclass her back to Grandmaster, because there's so many cutscenes involving the Avatar here, and again, to me, they just look wrong without the Avatar in their default class, so I'm going to go back to the default here. How fitting that while Chrom had max strength, Mary Sue now has max magic. Makes sense that she'd max out her one asset stats. Let's see if we can find any legendary tome that she could use. I'm not giving her Forseti, by the way. That would just be, that would be evil. She can use silver swords now. And yeah, Wormslayers don't work on Grima, so don't try. Sure, I have a spare one somewhere. There we go. And I guess I can take an additional... You know what, I'll take Celica's Gale. Oh, the delicious irony. Should I actually use that? As much as Mary Sue would not want to stain her hands with light magic, it is powerful, so I guess she'll take it. I think I'll do the rest of my final chapter preparations off-screen, because when we pick off, we're going to take on the Fell Dragon Grima. We're all ready to head out into the final chapter, but just one last thing before we enter. I just want to point out that you don't need to worry about your weapons breaking here at all, so feel free to go to town with legendary weapons. After you beat this chapter, you can save, but if you reload the save, you'll start in the state that you did before you entered the final chapter, which means any level ups or anything will not carry over. So, nothing that happens in this chapter will carry over to your file, so just be aware of that. You don't need to worry too much about getting experience, because none of it's going to count. So, let's begin. Endgame. Poser Dragon Grima. Mary Sue's getting to me, I guess. Now, Grima really looks like that serpent Colossus in Shadow of the Colossus. And breaking out the red text. I'm guessing, I haven't actually seen how Grima speaks in the Japanese version, but I'm guessing like Medius and Lopt here, this red text was all katakana in the Japanese version, which is... I guess the red text is interesting, and the all caps.
Are you ready?
Speaking in all katakana is basically the equivalent of speaking in all caps.
Yeah.
And that's all the introduction that we're going to get. Here we are, on the dragon's back. Lol, Kingdom Hearts 2 obvious jokes. So you'll see these sigils here. These are reinforcement spawn points, and this map has an endless number of reinforcements. The enemies here are all level 20, but here's the problem that I have in terms of my playthrough. You'll notice that their stats are a lot lower than what we've been fighting so far. Especially the Great Knights and Generals. Yeah, if you've played all of the Spot Pass paralogs, especially Radiant Hero, the final chapter is gonna be sort of pathetic, and that is the thing that worried me, but really, I actually kind of have a solution to that. But that's all I'll say for now. So the enemies here, especially this hero, I mean, just look at him. I mean, these stats are absolutely pathetic compared to what we're used to. So, this chapter's gonna be kinda easy after we've done all the paralogs, but it was either that or I wouldn't be able to show off all of the quotes of the paralog characters, so... Anyway, our main goal is to just cut through the enemies as fast as possible and get to Grima, who is right here. Grima is so important they get their own class, which is named after themselves. Egomaniac. But anyway, as you can see, Grima actually fights kind of interestingly. What we're targeting here is, in fact, the Grima-possessed avatar. In a way, they fight in a very similar manner to the Lobtier-possessed Julius, the final boss of Fire Emblem 4, with one notable exception. Expiration, Grima's Shadowy Breath. As you can see by the top screen, it has 5 range. So that's, I think, the biggest range of any Fire Emblem final boss, unless you count the Radiant Dawn one, who can just hit you anywhere on the map, but... Anyway, they also have Anathema to reduce your evasion. Ignis, now I believe they only have Ignis on hard mode or above, but yeah, they're using the avatar's powers. Pretty scary. That's going to do a lot of damage if that activates. Pavies, which they also only have on hard or above, which can potentially halve physical damage, and that's a big deal because that includes the Falchion. And Dragon Skin. If you're playing normal, this is the only time you will see Dragon Skin. Valadar wouldn't have had it. But here, yeah, you can't just take the cheap way out in Lethality Grima. You have to fight them the hard way, and it halves all damage directed at them. Much like, again, Lobtier-possessed Julius from Fire Emblem 4. Also, yeah, the map itself is Grima's back, which is pretty insane. Yeah, the final boss is the map itself. Anyway, though, who are we going to bring to the final chapter? Well, of course, we're bringing Mary Sue. Now, here is something really, really dumb about the final chapter. The Avatar is not a forced deployment. Why this is the case, I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, Chapter 23 and the chapters before you have access to preparations are the only chapters in the game where the Avatar is actually a forced deployment. The final chapter is not one, despite the fact that the Avatar is incredibly heavily involved there, and as you're about to see, yeah, you'll see a lot of cutscenes involving the Avatar, and really the final chapter is much more about them than it is about Chrom, and yet they're not forced, and I find that very bizarre. Anyway, obviously bringing them. Also, we obviously want Lucina here, and for that reason, Lucina's husbando should come along too. Now other characters we could bring here. You know what I think? I think we need to bring Stahl and Sully. The reason why is, they were our first married couple in this playthrough, and so they should be present in the final chapter. As you can see, I've already equipped them with legendary weapons for the occasion. Speaking of which, I also have the first second-generation married couple that I want to bring. That and I really like Brady and Noir as characters, so they're going in. They also have legendary weapons on their side. Now, normally I would bring Donald here, but he already had his time in the sun in the last chapter, and nah, yeah, she had her time in the sun too. So who else are we going to bring? Well, Basilio and Flavia are both essentially main characters, so I kind of want them to be present for this too. Also, speaking of other characters that I want present for this, We want to bring Owain, obviously, because the legendary hero of the epoch, of course, has to fight the Fell Dragon and carve out a saga for himself. He also is armed with the real Mistletoe this time, so that's going to be amazing. And his waifu should join the fight too. And of course her parents are here, so why shouldn't she be here too? Speaking of parents, where is she? There she is. Lissa has been with us since the very beginning, and she's been our main healer right from the start. I think it's only fitting that she comes to this chapter too. Now with that, we only have 3 more deployment slots, and you know what? Obvious favoritism, but I am bringing Pan and Yarn. Because, again, mostly favoritism. Yarn is one of my favorite characters in this game, for obvious reasons. He was my avatar's son in my first playthrough. And 1 more slot here. And I guess, technically speaking, even though he did have a lot of time in the sun last time, it'd be wrong not to bring Morgan here, so I'm going to bring them. Now, I would really... The only character that from here... Well, I'd love to bring everyone, but one character who I would really like to bring here is actually Tiki, because as the daughter of the Divine Dragon Naga, Tiki really should be present when we're fighting Grima, but I don't really think I have enough space, and I can't really afford to lose anyone here, so this is who we're going to go with. Now, here's how this is going to work. Some characters are going to stay behind to fight these guys and hold off any enemy reinforcements. And they are going to be Starl and Sully, as well as Pan and Yarn, plus Basilio and Flavia. Most of the enemies around here are going to use long-range weapons, so Basilio, who is now equipped with Hellswath, should be well equipped to taking them out. Lissa being around the center is probably fine. Merisu needs to be around the top because she's going to lead the charge directly. Speaking of characters who are going to lead the charge directly, so my plan is for Lucina, Owain, Merisu, and of course, Morgan, to lead the way out the front, and everyone else take out enemies on the sides. But for the moment, though, I could send in Jerome as well on one side, and we do have some enemies that we need to fight over here. Actually, Noir can only reach them with her, with her longbow. And you know, since I have Basilio and Flavia on that side, I wouldn't mind sending Jerome down the other side. Okay, we have a battle plan. Let's do this. And apparently Grima only just summoned those reinforcements. So wait, what is she doing? What is she doing? Well, that was bad! Grima used the almighty power of plot hacks magic to reduce us all to 1 HP. Thankfully, I did bring the Goddess Staff here, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem. Frederick, I didn't even bring you to this chapter. We do have the Goddess Staff. I could just heal everyone all now.
Back off.
Yeah, exactly. We're not dead yet, and I can just Goddess Staff everyone. A lot of people have said about this chapter, why doesn't Grima just flip over? That would really kind of screw you over worse than anything that Grima could do. Oh, of course, the whole villain offer, we can rule together. This totally isn't a trap. So, this choice actually doesn't have any really major effect. It's not the really big choice of this chapter. But I like saying no here, mostly because the Avatar gets incredibly genre-savvy. Exactly. And then the villain outright admits it. Yeah, I like this version of the conversation because, yeah, genre savviness. Oh no, Grima has pulled Mary Sue into the Shadow Realm! Or actually, it's the same Disney villain limbo that Maleficar went to.
Yes.
In Disney villain limbo, apparently. Yeah, I would say it again, but I don't want to give Grima any ideas. I don't want to tell them they could just flip over and we'd all just die.
What?
Now, if you're wondering about the fade out here, that's because this is where the game resumes after... It's where the branches diverge from that one choice. So, no matter which one you picked, from this point on, things are the same. It is implied that I am unleashing some kind of horrible, soul-sucking dark magic on you. Virtuac. What does that mean? Your hat fight back Gking. Again, I can't quite make that out. Fight back, have to keep ing. It's a bit more coherent.
Fight back!
There it is!
What?
Please stay strong.
Lissa, you're our first healer, which means we never would have got as far as we had if it weren't for you. Without you, there's no way we could have even made it past the first few chapters, and for that, you never need to doubt yourself. You are the best princess we could have ever asked for.
Shall we then?
You know all about that, Frederick. It takes a lot to stop you, especially on lunatic mode. I'm not playing that, so sorry I didn't use you more, but I can't give you enough credit for saving so many players' lives on that mode. You are amazing.
You can do this.
Sully, you've been showing up all the men in the army since you joined. You certainly have lived up to the Bull's legacy. Now, let's finish this together.
Follow my lead.
As much as I kinda hate to admit it, the bards are always going to be singing songs of your triumph after this is done. They'll sing songs of how you restored your country. Let's finish this final battle so you can get back to doing that.
Hey!
Teach, make your students proud one last time. One more lesson. Come on, let's do this. Grima is gonna fear the Vake.
You can do it.
Stahl, I know you fell victim to a curse that I've seemed to have in every single Fire Emblem game I play. One of the Cain and Abel duo always gets poor stats, but even then, you've been a great help to your daughter Chell and to Sully. You've still contributed, and for that I respect you.
You must persevere.
Paradoxically though it may seem, I desire to eloquate my... I can't talk like you, so I'm just going to stop this, but that really does say something. Muriel, you've always been the brains of this army. Keep that up, and let's hope you can make many more scientific discoveries in the future.
We can do this.
I can hear you, Kellum. You don't need to worry. You've always been noticeable to me, and to everyone who's played this game. You have been one of the best defenders we've had. Without you, Yellowstone will have fallen back during the time when they sent assassins after Emmerin. Whenever we need defense, we always came to you, and you will always be remembered for that.
Good luck.
If Sumia hadn't been horribly murdered by Mary Sue, this is what she would have said right now.
Don't falter.
As much as you had a weakness for women, Lonku, you have been a great help to us so far. Earlier on, you were let down a little bit by the fact I had to keep you paired up with a healer, but you've taught your son well, definitely. He certainly does have heroic lineage. I should also point out that Lonku's quote here is a bit more hesitant if you have a female avatar. If you have a male avatar, there are no ellipses or hesitation in his line here. Nice touch.
We've got this.
Riken, it was a rash decision that got you involved with this army, but you have grown so much since then. You've always protected those important to you, and been protected by them in turn. After this war, you won't need to be the one who always looks up to others. Others are going to look up to you.
What?
Haha! Fighting has never really been your thing, you're more into tea. But I know you will rip Grima to pieces if he hurts one hair on your friends' heads. Show them what a proper lady can do. Let's just say I hope Grima isn't afraid to get dirty.
Be strong.
Pan, you've been one of our greatest champions as well. I know you didn't trust us Manspawn at first, but I hope this war has changed your mind. Through our journeys, you've gained a family and the home that you always wanted. And we need to protect that. One last fight, and then your kind will finally be able to live in peace.
We doing this?
Sweet puns as usual. Sticky Fingers Gaius, you've always been helpful to me, an avid chess completionist. Without you, I'm pretty sure that Lox would have been a major adversary of ours for a long time. Let's just hope that after the war, you can use your skills for less legally questionable things.
We gotta win.
Donnie, if there was ever an award for most improved, it would be a massive understatement in your case. You've gone from timid farm boy to taking on the Radiant Heroes army single-handed. There are just no words to describe how much better you've become since you started out, and you've always been one of my favorites. Keep it up.
Stay frosting.
Yes, you've always done with the yelling, Gregor. I will admit, you are probably the only localization change in this game that actually worked. You've been really entertaining throughout this whole thing, and I'm glad I had a chance to use you this time after I neglected you in my first playthrough.
I'm with you.
Noe, you'll always be, well, actually my second favorite dragon, because, well, let's just say there's one even stronger than you, but you're pretty amazing too. And I definitely love the dynamic that you had with Donald.
Have faith.
Libra, you were a beacon of hope to us right after Emmerin seemingly died, and you still have been all this time. Join us in this last battle so those orphans you care for might live in peace once more.
Just don't fail.
Tharia, you've certainly been interesting. But I know you're not going to turn out like you did in the dark future this time. You've got Kellum and your daughter around, and all of us. I know there's more to you than it seems. You do have some hidden niceness, and I hope that shows after we finish this.
Don't give up.
Olivia, you've always been shy, so I'll try not to say too much. But you've been one of the most useful characters we've had. The ability to give the rest of us the ability to move again, moving twice in one turn is just so useful. And because of that, I really think that everyone should see your dance, although I know that you probably won't like that.
Stay with me.
You and Minerva have been, well, pretty amazing ever since your first battle where you did a really good job tanking those Valmese enemies. After this, you can finally go home with Virion and rebuild your homeland, and Minerva will finally be able to be in peace as well.
This ain't so bad.
I might not like your localization, but just keep being yourself, Henry.
Keep your wits about you.
You helped us while fighting the Valmese Empire. You've undergone so much hardship and you haven't really had much time to rest. One last battle and I promise your homeland will be at peace once more.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, you of all people would know that. We thought we lost you, and, well, Flavia was certainly devastated. But even though I can't ship you together, you will always be just as awesome as Nick Fury in my book, or perhaps even more.
They're all yours.
Flavia, you are, yeah, amazing. Just as much as Basilio, and I still wish I could ship you together. Keep on ruling Ferox, and, well, in those tournaments that you inevitably have later on, I hope you and Basilio can come to some kind of understanding.
You can do it.
After 13 games and so many years, finally a member of your family has joined our army. You have been a great help to us for what few chapters I actually used you in, as a healer and as a treasure finder. I'm sorry I didn't use you more, but we've certainly met a lot of your sisters along the way.
I believe in you.
Tiki, as a voice of the Divine Dragon, you belong here more than anyone else. Let's destroy Grima together, and then maybe there'll be peace for another few thousand years.
It's all right.
Lucina, I don't even know what to say. You've been one of the strongest among us, and if it weren't for you, none of us would even be here. You came back to avert the future. Now, let's finally change the course of history for good.
No, you don't.
Owain, you are amazing. Your theatrics and all-around heroism have inspired us all. I wish we could meet again someday. Who knows? Maybe we will.
Steady.
Inigo, you've shown the most depth out of anyone in the army, really. Everyone thought you were just a shameless flirt at first glance, but you're really so much more than that. I hope everyone can see the real side of you after we finish this.
Show him who's boss.
Yes, we will show him who's boss, Brady. Yeah, you may have scary looks and the others might think you're a bandit, but you're good at heart, and you've been an excellent healer and mage. Please, accompany us in this final battle. We need you.
Be careful.
And we pass every test. Of course we do. You were the first child, well, the first child character apart from Mary Sue's child that we recruited. And you have definitely shown just what you inherited from your parents and your own natural talents. You've been amazing so far. I hope you can keep that up.
Time to pay.
If Cynthia hadn't been erased from history, this is what she would say.
Don't you dare lose.
Severa, you will forever be the benchmark to which all future Tsunderes shall be compared to, and that is definitely a compliment. You can certainly be harsh, but when your Dere side shows, it really, really does. I know that you really do love your family, and you can protect them now one last time.
Keep it together.
We're gonna change fate, that's been the point of all of this. Jerome, you, the Dark Draco Knight, have always been one of the strongest of us in the second generation. You've been a beacon to everyone, and someone that Lucina can lean on. Let's borrow your strength once more. You may have your quirks, Gary Stu, but I can't deny that you've been a very, very powerful combatant.
Please win.
Yarn, once we're done with this, you'll never need to worry about going extinct ever again. Actually, that's kind of not really accurate. You've been the one dealing out the extinction so far. You have dethroned tyrants, fought off armies. You don't need to be nervous. You are absolutely one of the strongest among us, and you always will be.
Your victory is clear.
Laurent, you've been a great help to your mother in her experiments, and together I know that the two of you can change this world. Let's fight one more time, and bring about that world where you can perform new scientific discoveries.
Stay strong.
You didn't even have to channel your split personality to say that. Nice one, Noir. Yeah, your crazy as split personality aside, you have shown so much strength, and you've just been incredibly useful to us, and you've brought your family back together again. And that really is one of the greatest feats of all.
I'm not scared.
Nah, you have absolutely no reason to be scared. You are quite possibly the strongest among us as a descendant of Donald, and yeah, you are probably my favorite dragon now. Let's annihilate another dragon. Really, you are actually stronger than Grima by this point.
Try not to bleed.
Your past is not today, Gangrel. Emmerin believes you can be reformed, and I do too.
Prove yourself!
You are by far the most unlikely ally we've ever had. We fought to dethrone you and your empire, and now we're allies to a common goal. I hope that your time with us has changed you, and that after this war, you can turn your strength to better pursuits than conquest.
Fight well.
You may not be the Emmerin that Crom and Lissa remember, but they still love you as family, and you still mean the world to them. We'll make sure that you survive this battle so that you can witness yourself the peace that you always sought to bring about.
Have faith.
Man of few words, I see. Again, you're not the Yenfei that Sayuri knew, but you have been an inspiration to her, and you've helped her keep going, even though we've only known you briefly. You're not of this world, but you can help us protect it.
Go on, astound me.
Once again, another strange ally, but in this case, you had your past and your whole identity taken from you by Valadar. Valadar is gone, but the dragon that he serves still remains. Let's defeat him and clear that taint from the world, and then no one will ever again have to go through what you did.
Let's go!
Priam, you haven't been with us for very long, and you certainly gave us a heck of a fight, but we are happy to have you as part of our army. The Radiant Hero's legacy is strong, and we need that on our side right now. Yes, all of us, we're all here now. We can all end this together. And of course, like most villains, Grima is allergic to the power of friendship. You can't silence the many voices, for bonds of people is the true power.
Damn you!
And Grima's gone crazy out of, oh no, I cannot comprehend the power of friendship.
Come on!
And Crom, well, you've definitely been with us this whole time, and you've grown so much across this journey. Not just as a leader and as an exalt, but as a father. Really, that's the biggest compliment I can give you. You've truly been there for Lucina since she came back, and without you, she would have gone down a very dark path. You've been the one to guide her all this time, now guide her to the end.
Crom! Come on.
And epic music time. The power of friendship has broken the bond that held Mary Sue in the Shadow Realm. And hey, Naga used the goddess stuff for us. Perfect. So yeah, with that whole scene and the fact that the freaking map theme for this chapter is the Avatar's theme, don't you think it's weird the Avatar is not a forced deployment here? Anyway, time to just make a quick save here. And so, of course, we have the pretty famous by now id purpose, or I ... because in the Japanese version, which sounds a little weird, but it is sort of fitting. Yeah, you have a beast killer, but it's no threat to Yarn. Sadly, I had kind of been spoiled on this music. I listened to it long before the game came out in English, and Super Smash Bros. Has also kind of spoiled this theme, because it features it very, very prominently. Part of the reason why I've intentionally not listened to the Fate's final boss theme yet, so that I actually get to hear that for the first time while I'm actually playing. This would have had so much more impact if, again, the first time I heard it was while I was playing this. But yeah, it's an epic remix of the Avatar's theme, which is awesome.
I'm here. Over here, stupid.
Oh, nice one, Brady.
Thank you.
Of course, I want Sally to take on this guy because she has Aegis to mitigate the magic damage.
You up for this? Gotcha.
So I should have equipped Star's legendary weapon. And it missed anyway.
Time to even the odds. Checkmate.
He won't harm you. Forget about me.
Don't fight my battles.
I love how they actually integrate the Fire Emblem theme into this battle music. That is really, really awesome. I know a lot of games use that whole remix the game's main theme as the final boss theme. Well, mostly Sonic games, but some other games do it too. But this is the first time they've really done that for Fire Emblem, and it works really, really well. I believe the Latin lyrics to this, to the Fire Emblem theme here are the same as they were in Smash Brothers.
You hurt?
They're definitely not the, because the thing is, for Western fans, the first time they ever heard the Fire Emblem theme vocalized was in Smash Brothers, but in Japan, the Fire Emblem theme's actually been vocalized for a really long time. They had it as TV commercials for a really long time. Yeah, basically, although its lyrics were interesting, the lyrics described the series itself and the gameplay, so it was things like, if you use one character too much, the rest of your army will suffer, basically, which is kind of funny. Which is, yeah, amusing. So, again, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Latin lyrics are the same as the Smash Brothers 1. I think the official Smash Brothers Brawl website did have a translation of the Fire Emblem theme lyrics, so if you want to look those up. As for the actual Avatar's theme part of the lyrics here, I have seen a translation of them at one point. I know that one part of the song is, "If you ride with us, we shall bring life," but I can't quite remember the rest. Of course, Basilio's being amazing.
You got this.
Normal, I would kind of fast forward through these battles, but we want to hear as much of this music as possible. And hey, it's the final chapter. It's got to have that epic feel, though then again, the enemies here are barely any threat to us at all. Well, except maybe you. And one shot.
There's more where that came from.
Yeah, again, does feel kind of bad doing this after all the paralogs, because as you can tell, the enemies here are pretty weak compared to the paralog enemies, so you were basically meant to do those chapters after you'd beaten the main story, so that is kind of annoying, but at least the final chapter still feels epic. I mean, you're fighting on a dragon's back with this music playing. You get to use a huge number of your army. You'll get to show off your skills. It's a pretty cool final chapter, though I admit, not the most challenging one, really. Then again, Fire Emblem's really not been one for challenging final chapters, honestly. Really, Radiant Dawn's final chapter is the only one that actually felt like a proper final boss fight in a Fire Emblem game. All the others are kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, the final bosses are rarely all that tough. Grima certainly tries to be tough, but as you'll see once we actually get to him, he'll probably fall pretty quickly. The real challenge here is just breaking through the enemies quickly. Okay, that's going to be overkill. Yeah, that's painful.
Wow.
And of course, we've got the Fire Emblem theme again. Let's let Style try this. Come on, Tearfing!
Over there.
Being Sigurd's legendary weapon, I kind of wanted to give it to Chrom, but
Killed you twice.
being showed up by Sully's till the end. Yeah, being Sigurd's legendary weapon, I wanted to give it to Chrom, but he already has his own legendary weapon. And just one more enemy to take down here. Alright, it's because of the strength +2 that Hector's axe is actually as strong as Armad's. Ironic considering that Armad's is Hector's axe as well.
Allow me.
Thanks.
I always used to pronounce that its weapon name as Armadus back when I played Fire Emblem 7 for the first time. Actually very interesting as well from the whole, well, yeah, let's just say that on Hector's story, that axe has a very interesting history. Okay, now, yeah, like I was saying, we need to cut through these enemies, and who better to do that than the hero of the epoch, Owain the Gigantic Ham!
I have this.
And I should have equipped his waifu's legendary weapon, because I didn't give her one. Nice dual guard there, though.
I could have stayed home.
Owain, never stay home, you're too awesome. And yeah, she's equipping miniature lance. Once you cross a certain part of the map, you get this conversation. When Naga... Oh yes, and she's basically saying the reinforcements in this chapter are infinite, so it's in your best interest to end this as quickly as possible, because none of the experience you get here is going to carry over. Of course, she's reminding us again of the choice. If Chrom deals the final blow, Grima will survive, return to slumber, and come back to terrorize our descendants 1,000 years in the future. Mary Sue will also survive.
Right.
But if Mary Sue strikes the final blow, Grima will die forever, and Mary Sue will also die. I will have to think about this one. What a tough decision! Okay, I may actually want to switch over to Chrom here, because Mary Sue's defense is a little low here, and sometimes the enemies pose a slight threat to her. Of course, let's take out
Now I'm angry.
the ranged enemy first. Well, Chrom certainly was angry then.
Finished?
Well, yeah, that guy is, but Grima is not, and the reinforcements certainly are not. And Lissa's the only one who hasn't moved. And thankfully, she's out of range of everyone, so hopefully the rest of these enemies will... Yeah, that's why I didn't leave with Mary Sue here, because that wave of reinforcements can actually be kind of deadly.
Stay calm.
Stupid cowards.
Back off.
Oh, you both have long-range weapons, really?
You're all right.
I actually wasn't expecting that. I should have looked at your inventory more closely.
Come on, then.
Show them the true power of a hero of ages.
Brace yourself.
Evidently, he should have braced himself more.
I am invincible.
Not that would have helped him, because Owain basically is invincible by this point. Level up, but won't count, sadly. Though I could see Owain max out his speed stat before the end of the game, if that's,
Let's do this.
if he gets enough level ups.
Not happening.
You shall not hurt Brady's waifu. And you shall not hurt Owain at all, because you have no chance of hitting. And dual guide anyway. I love when that happens.
Behold.
Behold the true power of Owain. Owain could probably take on Grima by himself, but I'm not exactly going to do that, because for story reasons, we need to attack him with the people destined to take him down.
I'm with you.
Oh look, you have an actual chance of hitting. Nope, dual guard, sorry.
Have you made your peace?
Well, you can't exactly make your peace with Grima, because Grima's going to be dead soon. Okay, that
Come on.
Lance as well. Aether should heal Crom, though.
Anything can change.
Or he could just activate Luna and not get Aether at all.
Over here.
And Book of Naga.
Thanks, friend.
And once again, Crom zoned. One of these assassins has a bow. I'm pretty sure it's not you. And I'm surprised you have an actual chance of critically. Was that 3 in a row? I mean, I'm not surprised because Owain is awesome, but still.
Invincible.
Come on, Owain, you can do it. Max your speed before we defeat Grima. That's a challenge for you. Grima has conspired to hinder his growth.
Ready?
For that, Grima must pay. Oh, I was hoping for Aether to recover that little bit of HP. I guess I'll have to heal him with Lissa.
Good.
But we are slowly cutting our way through the enemies, and you attack with a physical weapon.
Be careful.
Though I'm guessing you don't even have a bow.
Just in time.
Brace yourself.
4 in a row! Guess he's getting lucky with those crits, but not getting lucky with level ups. Okay, that background looks awesome. That background looks really awesome.
We can do it.
You know, I had a feeling that would hit too. Why no Aether, really?
Thank you.
Goodbye, random Grimleal Paladin. We're almost there. Just a Wyvern Lord, but you probably don't have you have a Lance, and you got Swordbreaker, which is why your hit rate is so high. Crom, Aether,
Anything can change.
please tell me that doesn't mean that he's dead. If Crom dies due to lack of Aether in the otherwise easy final chapter, I will be very annoyed. And that was a good level up, too. No one can stop me now. Please don't let those be famous last words. Okay, anyway. I need to heal Crom now, so... let's see. Starl and Sully will stay back here, because there are going to be more reinforcements incoming. And I guess... let's see. Oh, I can't quite reach. But I think it's time for Lucina to enter the fray. Or for Lucina to wake her blade. As the... yeah, thing might be.
You're not alone.
Now!
You ready to fly?
Bolt from above! Funny, that looks more like Thunder Rain than Mjolnir, but I guess, well, Thunder Rain technically was exclusive to Thor in some games. Okay, move forward, Basilio and Flavia. Now, I believe the next wave of reinforcements come from there, so we should be ready for that. I still need to heal Crom, though. But let's let Owain's waifu have some time in the spotlight. With the Gaybolg.
This ends here.
Was debating whether to give her that or Gungnir, but In the end, I decided that she needed this one for the plus 5 defense, because that plays to her strengths a little more. Even though she might need the speed a bit more. I don't like you having spears. I hope these aren't famous last words. Let's go, Mary Sue!
Stay with us. Your end has come.
Again, Crom, distinct lack of ethers there, although I don't think the ethers heal him if he's a support partner. And once again, Lissa is the last one left to move. Yep, I was right, reinforcements there. Of course, they're probably all going to go stacks on Lucina since she can't counterattack them. Good dodge, though.
You can do this.
Of course, you're going to barely do anything. And doing this much damage to a class that normally specializes in resistance is pretty impressive. Just a few more enemies to go and we can finally start going after the Fell Dragon himself.
Pay attention.
I challenge my fate!
You face us all.
Thank you.
Yes, you do. You face us all, Grima. Another level up that won't count. Okay, you might notice that the enemies forming a wall around Grima don't actually move, so just be aware of that. You will have to cut through them to get to Grima, and as you can see, there is no way that you won't get into Grima's range before you're able to attack them, so you'll have to endure a couple of hits from Grima while you're approaching. Of course, that does make it a bit easier to see Grima's special battle quotes, because yes,
I say when it ends!
Grima does have special battle quotes. He has them with Crom, the Avatar, and with Lucina. Plus his normal battle quote for if anyone other than them attacks him, or he attacks anyone other than them. Okay, let's go. Shell has enough speed to avoid being doubled by Grima. Honestly, with our stats this high, Grima's really not that tough. In any other Fire Emblem game, Grima would actually be pretty powerful with stats like these, but here, he just is kind of lacking. Nice one, Owain.
Thank you.
I had this idea that I needed to say something else about Grima, but I kind of forgot what it was. Okay, somebody else needs to kill that general, and Brady is the perfect one for the job. One last Blood and Thunder for good measure.
Oh, thanks.
We still have one hero there. And I would send Crom in here, except I am a little worried about his health. Of course, you won't actually kill him, but I need Lissa to fully heal him. I hate to waste the Goddess Staff on one person, but I might actually need to in this case. Again, the Goddess Staff will be restored after this chapter, so it's not really that big a deal. I just don't really feel like having Mary Sue attack because those Berserkers hit kinda hard, and if I get too unlucky, then she could sorta die. Or I could just have Crom go for one of the Berserkers that can't hit him. Yeah, that works. Oh, the huge critical rates on stuff is working against Crom because he's criticaling but he's not ethering.
Let's go.
Come on, I need you to ether this time. Ugh, Crom, really?
Wrong move.
Yeah, you're right, Mary Sue. Wrong move. Crom, you needed to ether. Luna was the wrong move. And now I need to heal him. Yes, you know what? Okay, Crom's definitely in range of this. Of course he is. Goddess Staff! Full heal, everyone! Except in this case, it's just Crom. Also, the Goddess Staff basically gives an automatic level up to anyone, but it kind of, well, again, only has one use before it breaks, so... yeah, that is a little annoying. Now, I am gonna... you know what? If enemies spawn from the rear, like they're going to there... they're not really much of a threat to me at this point.
Your end has come.
So, yeah, here's a special conversation for Crom. And here we see how Grima actually fights. Basically, Avatar-possessed Grima teams up with Dragon Grima from the present. And has Ignis. Yeah, Ignis from Grima hurts a lot.
Look out.
Kinda need some of these to miss or get dual gun. Really?! Well, at least you're not going after Crom. Probably because you can't hit him. And you're not going after Crom either.
Win this.
That's strange.
Over here.
You have my gratitude.
Lucina, you better get over to Crom as quickly as possible because I think he needs your help. What the heck are you doing?
Strap in.
I mean, I'm thankful for it, but wow, you're stupid. You were right next to Crom. How much damage would you have done? You probably wouldn't have killed him, but still, that was a surprisingly... Not surprisingly, I mean, because these enemies are all idiots, but still. Yeah, the hammer does more, I guess, but I should use Balmung here. Come on, Basilio.
Step aside.
Dual strike for your not waifu.
Too slow.
There we go.
Thank you.
Balmung looks exactly like it does on its official art, which is cool. Okay, you know what? Brady can't quite get in range, so let's use him to heal. Actually, fortify, what the heck. It's not like we need to worry about staff uses. Ah, can't quite get in there. Also, Jerome is not going to get doubled by Grima. Good. Okay, let's go for the Batarang 2.0.
Stay strong.
Just clearing out these guys to make things a bit easier on us when we actually fight Grima.
Allow me.
Well, Pavi's almost screwed us over. Okay, that's not max strength, is it? No, no it isn't. I think his max strength is 50 from my other file, and he has maxed out his skill and speed as well. 50 strength and 40 skill and speed, and really good defense, yeah. Wyvern Riders are kind of ridiculous. They're often a really, really good class in Fire Emblem games.
Can't control. Have you made your peace?
Skill activations still look incredibly weird on generals in this game. Though generals in this game
This ends here.
just look weird in, I was about to say in general, but yeah, that's a case in point. Looks even stupider with Kellum using lethality. Oh, I'm gonna slide into you, which apparently kills you instantly. Okay, most of these enemies are down, so let me just show you this. So, the Exalted Falchion does quite a lot to Grima. So you really want to be using Crom or Lucina for this one. Normal dragon-slaying weapons don't really do much to Grima, and as a case in point, Book of Naga. Yeah, the Book of Grima's nemesis barely does anything to him. I suppose I could actually try for, yeah, you do more damage. I'll go for you first. Could try and get the Avatar special conversation with Grima here.
Here's how it's done.
Though I don't want to end this before Lucina gets a chance to show her quote against Grima. I would like to land the final blow with the Avatar if I could, and that leads me to explain something. So you know how Naga mentioned before about Crom or the Avatar getting the final blow? Don't worry about that in terms of gameplay. As far as gameplay is concerned... Okay, this is exactly why I made him a Swordmaster. Bunny combo! Anyway, So in terms of gameplay, it actually doesn't matter who gets the final blow on Grima. It's only story-wise where it actually matters. And I can't... Okay, definitely don't want to lead with Star with that hammer, and I'm glad you don't have Lancebreaker.
So long, chump.
Still showing Star up.
Damn nuisance.
Yeah, that's all the enemies really are in this chapter, a nuisance. They're pretty much no real threat. At least if you've gone through all of the paralogs. If you haven't, they can actually be kind of tough, but, okay, reinforcement behind, that's good. No reinforcements next to Grima. And this actually kind of worries me because I don't want Chrom to Dual Strike too much and kill Grima. Because Dual Strikes actually completely penetrate Pavese, so that means that we don't need to worry about that. And special quote against the Avatar. But now we can actually start damaging Grima. In a way, the way Grima fights is... Also, Grima, as you notice, has a few different attack animations.
Time to tip the scales.
Functionally, they're all the same thing, though. And you'll notice that every time
Here's how it's done.
Grima gets damaged, a bit of the Dragon Grima gets broken off. In fact, at this point, you can actually see a creepy human face on Grima.
Look for this. Watch it.
But yeah, as you can see, Grima is almost down. Yeah, again, final bosses in Fire Emblem, apart from Radiant Dawn's one, rarely that much of a challenge. Can't actually see the creepy human face in the battle screen there, but, okay, we can't quite finish off every enemy here, but we might as well get rid of as many as we can. Let's go. One final round of combat before we end this once and for all.
Too easy. Face me.
I got shot for easy.
Oh, I was hoping for a no you go extinct. That would have been so appropriate here. But, well, I guess the Grimleal will be extinct soon. And that, I believe, is maxed out strength. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can go for a Paladin mirror match here. Though I can't actually double with style.
Got you covered.
Get ready.
Well, I guess style does get one final moment of glory.
Pathetic.
Thanks.
Sully, were you calling Style's thing there pathetic? Given how much that her growth rates kind of beat his over the course of the game, I wouldn't be too surprised. Okay, who wants the honor of getting the final enemy? You know what? I guess Gary Stu should do it.
I'm yours.
He hasn't had all that much action here. Gary Stu, are you planning on hitting on Shell as well?
Time to even the odds.
You already have one, waifu, don't get greedy.
Game over.
It'll be game over for Grima soon.
Just as planned.
There are actually a lot of critical hit quotes that are so appropriate for Grima. Mainly, the Avatar's game over, Chrom's anything can change, and, well, let's see if we can get one out of Lucina. It's time.
I challenge my fate.
Here they come.
Hope will never die. Damn you!
It's over. Not even Pavese could stop that. Hope will never die.
Right.
But with that, Grima's been weakened. Now's our chance to land the final blow. Lucina looks pretty amazing there, actually. And now you have a choice. You can either let Chrom land the final blow or refuse and let the Avatar do it. There are actually two different endings to this game. Which choice you make here determines which ending you get. So, how will it end? You'll find out next time.